Good morning. Today is December 30th, 2024, Monday morning. The time is right now about 10:30 a.m. Monday mornings are a little interesting after being in the corporate world for 20 years with 9 to 5 jobs. It feels a little different to not have that on Monday mornings. Now, if you guys have been seeing my videos, you know that I am still planning to go back to the corporate world. The right thing will work out at the right time. A lot of things happened in the past 1 year that taught me emotionally how I can grow. And I think I'm in my 40s now, and in the past 1 year, it was funny, the other day I was chit-chatting with a friend. It was Saturday, and we talked for so long. I can't believe hours. We're talking about like how the amount of study I have done in this field. And when I said this field, some would call self-help. That is, I think, more known term, but self-transformation, self-development, whatever you want to call it is. I have been studying this for years. I don't know when exactly I started. It could be more or less 10 years, but maybe more intensely since 2017. Yes, I was saying that the amount of material I studied probably could be, I don't know, 2 masters, because some of my friends, they have master's degree. I have bachelor's degree. I have done engineering, bachelor's of engineering, but I'm not one of those people who likes to go to school more and do more, get more degrees. I am more of one of those people. I study more in the field that I'm interested in. Now, there is no specific course or degree that has all the things that you want to grow into. So anyway, that's my logic. So it was like, so that friend has a master's degree, and many of my other friends have. So they sometimes jokingly say that, oh, you should do masters, and then I was like, the amount of study I have done in this field probably is like 2 master's degree. And some of the things, when you go and do the degrees in the university, one is you spend money, your return on investment, you have to think about that. And I'm like, in my engineering, so I did that from India, and India, fortunately, is not as expensive. Education is not as expensive as here. Here, I know from friends that who went to college for higher education, my goodness, the amount of money that is needed here, I couldn't have done that in India. So anyway, so I was saying that, like, in my engineering courses, I had like to learn the chip design, the chips that go in the cell phone, or like this kind of things. But am I using it in my career? Not at all. Those are all because those are the courses I needed to study and pass the course and whatnot. So anyway, that's my logic, that you can always learn and grow. And there are many popular quotes around that if you the knowledge, people say knowledge is power, but knowledge is not power until it is used as an action. People have a huge vessel of knowledge, but if it is kept in the bookshelf, and not applied, there is no use of that. Anyway, so I was just randomly sharing that. Of course, as you guys know, this morning journaling is like where I share a lot of different things. And just a little while ago, maybe 5 minutes ago, I went out on the deck and I was feeling the present moment. I was accepting the moment just the way it is, right this second. Even I have nowhere to go, nothing to do. This is what is, if you believe in destiny, this is what was written in my destiny, that life is going to be exactly like this at this point. Whatever has happened until now in the past was supposed to happen. I had to learn things from that. And what is going to unfold in the future, it is going to unfold. And if you believe in God, I do, that God has prepared me, and that's one way to look at it, good or bad, whatever experiences we had. God has prepared me through these experiences in the past so that I can, what's the right word? Not manage, but I can go through these experiences, learn more, and the concept is, like, not only learn, enjoy life and thrive. And it may not happen every single day or every single moment. We all know life has its ups and downs, but we can still, be grateful for the little things. So I went out on the deck, and then I was feeling with the senses the present moment. So I was trying to smell what I could smell. I was trying to hear the sounds, some birds chirping, and this really blue sky today. It's like very nice blue. I can see outside in the window here, from here too. It's a sunny day, and temperature is like 55, 57, so it's not that cold. I'm wearing a flannel shirt on top of a regular top, so it was not cold. It didn't feel cold, but it's more on the colder side still. And I was walking bare feet on the wood on the deck, and my feet felt a little warmed because the wood was getting the sun for a while, so it got a little warm. And I kept looking at the blue sky. It is so nice blue. There's very less cloud, barely little white clouds here and there, but it was super blue. It is still super blue. And I was just appreciating that. It's just appreciating that, all the senses that I was feeling, and the color blue, that nice blue is just. And sometimes that's what I gotta do. Just have to go out for a minute, even, to experience the moment and appreciate all the beauty. It's God's creation, or however you look at it as. The simple things can help us to get out of our head, because in life there is always things. I talk about our subconscious and conscious mind, right? Subconscious is always running. It was interesting. So yesterday I went to a coffee shop in Barnes and Nobles here in Virginia. I have a coffee shop. It's like a little restaurant kind. And I made a short video there, because I don't go as often there anymore, but I used to go very often earlier this year. And at that point, I was going through a lot of challenging emotions. And now I think, after learning, growing through many different experiences in the last many months, my outlook towards life has changed in a good way. So it felt very different. I was very excited, and a few of my friends and we plan to do something called Mastermind starting next month on last Sunday. So I myself have kind of started doing it on Sundays, whichever Sundays I can, but yesterday I was more like doing it with the focused vision. So it was exciting. I was there for actually several hours and was reading lots of books, and I was writing down some of the strategies to execute the goals that I'm setting for 2025, and it was great. It was great. um, I would encourage you to do that too. Like, people talk about New Year's resolution, and in the resolution, what happens is, they say, I think there's a number, the statistics, I forgot how many, like 50% or 90% people, they give up on the New Year's resolution after a month or two. It doesn't have to be this way. If you have accountability partners, so my friends and I, that's what we're going to do, that once a month we're going to meet and kind of work as an accountability partners for each other. So if you have one friend, or you can even do it with your family or whoever, or somebody at work, um, and people like the concept of accountability partners. More than one is better, because sometimes life gets busy, and then even if they want to, sometimes some friends may not be able to come to one meeting or the other, and then there's always somebody else that, and same for us, we may not be able to there all the time. So whenever we can help others, and we learn by helping others. A lot of time we don't even think of an idea, and then as people go through different challenging emotions and things like that, we try to help them. And a lot of time our mind goes in the places to help others, because human minds are wired that way, because our natural tendency is to help. So it goes in places to find ideas to help others, where this also, it reveals to our mind that, oh, if I have a same or similar situation, I can do that too. So it works like, you learn more by giving and sharing. And I learned that more in the last 7 months that I started doing this channel, because I try to focus on as much as possible, especially in the shorts, in these videos too, but in these videos it's kind of more scattered, because I talk other stuff too. My life story a little bit here and there, but I try to share some tips here and there in the short videos that really worked for me, or I have known or learned from others that worked for them. So I'm going to be, trying to implement that. And one of the videos, it was so random, because I think when I talk more about this, my brain just goes light bulb here and there. Is like, how subconscious mind, it's like when we work on our physical body, we have the exercise for it going, and the subconscious mind, I kind of compare it with the cell phone. So the iPhone that I'm recording, compare it to the cell phone, because cell phone, you need a charger. It's not going to go on forever. Every couple days, if your phone is new, every couple days. In my case, I think I have to charge pretty much every day. So the phone works on charger. Without the charger, it's going to die. So similarly, in subconscious mind, we have to feed the subconscious mind, like the smartphone, where feed positive things to it, and then it will work more in our advantage. It'll come up with auto-suggestion, they call it, is like come up with good ideas, because subconscious has so much in it, because that is how we communicate to God or universe, how you think, from conscious to subconscious. Our subconscious connects to that bigger part of the unknown, the higher power, and all that. Another thing I talk about in that is how cell phone is just a cell phone, but you can do so much with it. You can take videos for your channel, you can journal, you can use app, you can use your read news and emails. Like, there's so much potential it has, right? Similarly, in our subconscious is full of potential. It all comes down to how we want to use it, and kind of understanding that it has so much power, all sorts of power that we are wanting to utilize. So when we read a book or when we learn things from somewhere online or whatnot, if you think of it, all of this exists in us because we are a creation of God, if you believe in God. So all of this are in us. More we read about those, we just become familiar with those parts in us, right? Because and more we remind ourselves by reading those things, it just stays on top of our mind, and that's the habit when we keep talking about positive things. So yesterday, as I was reading different things and noting things down at the coffee shop, one very interesting thing I learned is to form a new habit or something, try one habit every month. I thought that was it was one of the books, I can't remember which one. And I thought sometime, habit formation takes this anywhere between 21 to 60 days. So if 1 month seems too quick to form a new habit, even you can go even one habit a quarter, one habit for 3 months, or one habit for 6 months. And I cannot emphasize it enough, like how doing this journaling helped me. I mean, I always read this, and when I started doing it every day, and it's been 7 months, I'm blown away how it helped me with my mindset. In this journal, I talk, of course, a lot about how from midlife crisis we can get to midlife happiness. And a lot of the tips I share is about midlife, like mindfulness practice, connecting through different communities and serving others, and that's how we can get to the happiness. For different people, it could be different. It may not be exactly the same thing for everybody, but I think some of it would still resonate, is that because some are universal rule that community, majority of the people, even introvert people, I'm an extrovert, even introvert people can benefit from the community, because we as human beings, we are wired that way, that we cannot live our life alone all our life. We crave for that connection with another human being. So so a couple other thing was that another interesting thing I read, I think it was Rhonda Byrne's, she has several books. She came up with that book and the movie The Secret. It's all about law of attraction, manifestation, how that works. The first book came up in 2006, and after that she wrote 4 or 5 other books. So I was reading a lot of that, and I have like so many ideas going on in my head, because yesterday I did a lot of the reading in this field, because it just fascinates me. I kind of lost my train of thought, but I think it'll come to me. Because I have so many different ideas. I probably should write this down. I have so many different ideas that I want to share. Then I'm like, okay, I'm thinking about this, thinking about that, and then it's just blowing my mind, and all different, but all are good stuff. I don't know, what do you guys think about if you ever listen to the entire video, because I know these videos are pretty long, and I do want to capture this, because someday, I don't know how life might look like, very different in 5 years or even 1 year from now, and I would wonder, like, what I would think about looking back at this stage of my life, how or what I was doing, and how I was tackling everything that was happening. So yeah, that's why I like to capture this videos. And if I did it in private, first thing is I know that I'll give up. I won't do it. And second is, I think when I do it in public, it kind of pushes me, because yesterday um, I was telling my friend about something that I didn't even know that I had this invisible shell. I took some actions, and that helped me to break that invisible shell. Not only that, it gave me new ideas how I can move in that direction more. And I didn't know until I took that action. So sometime, if you take one action, it could help to break. Okay, so I'm going to share. So I was thinking I won't, but because it's a little weird, but I'm going to share because this is, it's like journaling. So yesterday, when I was kind of researching this field more, to learn more, to share more, and whatnot, so I was reading lots of different books, and then there was a person. There's a lot of people on Sunday, like Barnes and Noble. There's a lot of people on weekends, especially. So the table I was sitting in, there was lots of people, but by evening, as it was getting a little later, I think it was around 6:30, 7 p.m. at night, and they close at 9, so more people are leaving. So it was around 7 o'clock, and then a lot of people are leaving, so it was a long table. And by then, it was just I'm sitting on this side, and the other side, a little bit, not right across, but one seat apart, there was another guy, and then there's that corner, another person on that corner. They're a little bit older, and this guy, he looked much younger. He's in his 20s, later I found out while talking. So I wanted to ask how people much younger than us, what kind of self-help books or they read, or what kind of there's many people in this industry. Like Tony Robbins is probably at the very top, most renowned, but Tony Robbins, Simon Sinek, and there's like endless people. Like even after studying this field for 10 years, I still come up with new people who are popular enough, and then learn things from their books and the YouTube or podcast or whatnot. So I was curious to ask that question to that person. I'm like, I'm usually an extrovert person, so if I'm in an event, it's easy for me to go introduce myself and talk to the people and whatnot. Some of it probably came from my Toastmasters, because I have attended Toastmasters for 10 years. But this was a little odd because I have a big water jug. It has like hours, and I got it from Amazon, and every 2 hours to remind me to drink, because sometimes I don't drink enough water. So that's why I ended up getting that. Sometimes I have a problem if I don't drink enough water. So I got that. Anyway, so I was feeling very conscious to break the shell, to talk somebody randomly, even though now learning different things and everything, all people are same, and a different age group, and all of that doesn't matter, but there is still that, I don't know, they call it like the fear of rejection, right? And I'm not really trying to get accepted or anything, but it's that what if, which we need to cut from our vocabulary. Oh, that idea came to my mind that I want to share, so I'm going to write it down, so that after this I can share that. I think my mind is becoming ADHD mind. Anyway, so I wanted to ask, and then so finally I gathered the courage, and I asked. I'm like, hey, do you mind? And he had some earphones, so I felt even more conscious to ask him any questions. So I just said, like, hey, do you have 5 minutes? I just wanted to ask some questions. And he was nice, and I said, I asked him his name, and then I said, do you mind if I ask, like, the self-help industry related thing, if you are into that, and then which books do you like, or who do you follow? And so right away he couldn't remember much. He's like, yeah, I feel like I'm kind of put on the spot, so I can't remember. But he shared 2, 3 names, which was very different. So since he couldn't remember, I shared some if he knew, like Tony Robbins, Simon Sinek. But he heard the name of Tony, but he was not as familiar. Similar with Simon Sinek is like, maybe if I see, I'll remember, but I can't recall right away. But then he shared 2 other names. One I knew, the other I didn't, and it's funny and interesting. So I was like, so we talked only for a few minutes, but anyway. So that the reason I say that it broke the shell, that invisible shell, normally I would not do that. And so the way it helped me also, I'm like, if I want to help people who are going through this midlife crisis, and there are so many different type of crisis people are going through, and I told him that I just was curious to learn from him because he looked like he could be in 20s or 30s, and I'm in 40s, so I just wanted to know in that age group. So he's basically Gen Z. And then he said, I didn't want to know his exact age or anything, but he said that he is 23, going to be 24 soon. So I said, like, so I was curious, like, how Gen Z is, how they're looking at, like, what kind of self-help, or what do they turn to when they have some crisis situation or whatnot. And these days, if you Google it, you would see there's this quarter life crisis and whatnot, and how it's fascinating how millennial look at midlife crisis, how Gen Zs are looking at midlife, quarter life crisis. And not only that, even people who are in their I don't know, 70, after they cross 70, how 3/4 life crisis. So, and that interested me to look up Maslow's law. You probably know Maslow's law, where he talks about, like, there are like 5 steps where initially people, when the initial needs are met, like the food, water, shelter, security, then people look more for their purpose. Are they meeting their purpose? Like, what is their life's purpose? And then do the other things, self-actualization and all of that. And for me, being from India, and I have seen real poverty where people who are homeless, like really, really homeless, and here homeless people at least can go to the shelter. So in India, there is no shelter. There might be in big cities, I don't know, but in a small city where I'm from, there isn't. So I'm like, people, when they're that poor, can they come out of that and look ahead and make something big and go to their purpose? Like, everybody has a purpose, but can they reach to that? And I thought they can't. Actually, another idea just popped up in my head. It was from yesterday, but I forgot to share, but I'm going to. Some of this I might make as a short because I think they're worth capturing. Anyway, so, and then I was thinking that can they? And if you know, a lot of those people, Jack Canfield, Tony Robbins, or Bob Proctor died a couple of years ago. A lot of these people came from very poor background and or dysfunctional family. That's a different story altogether. This 85% families are dysfunctional. So chances are that most of us are all from dysfunctional families. So I looked up more to learn how Tony Robbins, because he broke the pattern, right? He broke the cycle where you don't have to be you don't have to go step by step. And that was because Maslow's law is only a framework, and there is always, it's all about the belief system. If people believe that people's belief system is like that, oh, okay, I can go to second level only after I finish the first level. I can go to third level only after I get to finish everything on the second level. It's all in our mind. And that's what was an interesting thing. Um, it was a quote from, I think, Albert Einstein. It was not exactly written the way I'm going to share, but the point was, a lot of time I talk about this going from point A to point B. How Joe Dispenza and others says who we become in the process is the important part, and then there's point C, right? Point A, point B, point C. But the quote was that it's all in our imagination, and the normal thinking would be that, oh, you have to go through point B to get to point C, right? You have to make certain changes, you have to have your beliefs, limiting beliefs, scratched off, and get to a point where you're here and you're attracting the thing that you want in your life, with life, career, purpose, relationship, whatever. You're in point B, and then take more actions and whatnot to get to point C. But it talked about imagination can get you there. You can skip the point B. You can point A to point C. And it was definitely not written that way, but that's how I grasped it. Um, and that's how I think this kind of books or YouTube channel or whatever resonates with you, whoever resonates with you, keep going with that. And it's like, it is absolutely amazing, mind blowing. I love this stuff. I absolutely love this stuff, and which is why I started sharing this, and I love this because I had all this that I have been learning for 10 years, and I'm like, I wanted to share so much of this that I'm learning, and I finally kind of feel good knowing that some of the things that I'm sharing, that it is helping some people. Even if it helps one person, it's all worth it, right? In life, if we can help someone. Because there was another saying that I read a couple of, like, yesterday in one of the book, like, they say small kind of small what is that saying that it's like it's on my head, but I can't say it clearly. It's the small act of kindness, right? Small act of kindness can make a difference. But in the code, the next line was that no action is small. No act is small, because kindness always have a ripple effect. So if we are kind to one person, we even don't know how that kindness could spread to many others, right? Because that person may feel better, and person might go share it with another person. That person may go share it with 100 people, like different versions of it. So I thought that was absolutely amazing, that small act of kindness. No act of kindness is small. There's always a ripple effect. So finally, so the thing that I learned, it is about vocabulary, if I can say that word properly. So when we are trying to transform our life, and it was in one of the Rhonda Byrne's book, I think it's called The Power. It was the second or third in a line where she has the secret and manifestation, where she talked about, and so I talk about the thinking, speaking, and the third point in the triangle is action. Thinking, speaking, action. Thinking, speaking, action. In the self-help industry, they refer the speaking as feeling. The way I think of feeling is it's auto-generated. It's so hard to control our feeling, but if we speak the right words, we can control the feeling a lot. And so anyway, so that's my thing: thinking, speaking, action. And her point of view was that when we say the words and on purpose, like, say the good words, like, oh, something we are, because it's the positive and the negative thought is generated, because every word has energy. Everything is energy in this world, right? Every word, everything, every thought, every feeling, every action, everything has energy. And when we see when we're out for a walk and we see this flowers, are like, oh, beautiful flowers, and there's nobody with you, you're just saying that to your mind, because we are always talking, because we are we are always talking, we are thinking. When we're thinking, it's just like talking. So if we say that, oh, beautiful flower, we acknowledge that. Or when you're around people, you're in an event, or like, oh, this is really nicely organized, whoever did that, it's fantastic. So those words have good energy, the positive energy. At the same time, if a traffic cuts you off, or while walking, you have some bird poop on the on the path and you stepped on it, and like, you get frustrated. Even that's a negative energy, and that expression or the words that you might say. So now it's not about being paranoid, but the point is just trying to be aware, like, when we are observing, and that's the goal, is to live an observer's life. Um, to live an observer's life instead of to blame, criticize, and judge. It kind of takes us to that negative zone. So anyway, and some of this may or may not resonate with you, depending on the age group you are in, because as I was reading online, how people look at life in their 20s, and this is again generalization, not everybody would be the same, I'm emphasizing it's a generalization. Somebody in their 20s or somebody in their 40s may look at it very differently, and because some of it comes with, I don't know, some life experiences or the hardships that we go through, because you go through different kind of hardships at different stages of life, and then you kind of, when you're in your midlife, you look at life in so different way that you really know that the good and bad is not really, it just is. We attach the meaning based on our life experiences and everything, the values that we have. Sometime as we transform ourselves, our values may change. Sometime as we transform ourselves, our belief system changes, and as our belief changes, our values may change, because their values and beliefs are very tied together. So yeah, these are very fascinating things, and I just wanted to share it today. And I may capture some of this as shorts later, not sure, but I just wanted to chat with you all, and thank you for your comments and likes. So many of you, I really appreciate, really appreciate. And I almost feel like I know you guys. I know your names, and some of you have the pictures as you comment and like, and you come back and watch these videos. And please do share in the comments that if you have ideas that you have implemented that worked, because this channel is all about navigating this part of our life, midlife. You can call it crisis, you can call it whatever, but just living a better life in the second half of our life. From all the things that we learned in the first half, it can be a better part of our life only if we look at it that way. We have to choose to look at it that way, that I can live a better life in the second half of my life, right? So we have to make that conscious decision, and I have made that conscious decision. I don't know what happened to me. My words are all falling apart today. So we can encourage each other to live a better life, and any things that we have learned from in the past, how can we do it better? And again, it goes back to, we can change only ourselves. We can't change anybody else, with our family, work, wherever. Only way to change others is through our responses, because people start, after some time, people start mimicking what they see. So if people are doing something and we want them to change, we just got to do what we want for them to do, and over time they start picking up those good behaviors and whatnot that we want from them. So it's not easy, but through the process, if not anything, we will transform, we will get better, right? So it's a win-win situation from any angle we look at it from. Anyway, so Like if you have seen my prior videos, Monday sometimes used to be a little challenging for me because, like I said, in the morning to not have that regular 9 to 5 work was a little challenging. Now I think I'm more in the neutral zone, but of course, I'll be in starting New Year's, I'll be looking more at getting into a right job. I just don't want to get into a job. I want to get into a right job because in this stage of life, you really understand the importance that um, life is not forever. So you gotta figure things out and go do the things that you really like doing. And anyway, different story. Um, um, I hope you guys enjoy and the day, Monday, and this coming week. And tomorrow is New Year's. Oh my God, I can't believe it's only 2 days left of this year. In some way, it could look like, and I'm pretty sure you guys may relate to it too. In some way, it may seem like this year was very long. In some way, it may seem like it was very short. It all depends on how we look at it. And that's another thing I read in a book is time is such an illusion, like how, and we can even change it in our mind. Now that's for another day. Okay, take care, guys. Bye, and thank you from the bottom of my heart for your support and encouragement. It means so much to me. I cannot emphasize enough. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.